Good afternoon. It is so exciting to be here with you this afternoon. My name is Deborah Hardy. I'm the Associate Provost of Teaching and Learning here at Lakeland Community College and Dean of Health Technologies. I am so honored to be here on behalf of Lakeland Community College, where we change lives through learning. I also would like to acknowledge our Board of Trustee President, Chair of our Board of Trustee, Dr. Kay Malik. As I mentioned, we change lives here through learning. But what I have to say today is that we are here to honor every woman here that has worked tirelessly to change lives out in our community. As I reviewed the program to see our honorees, I am just humbled by how the women that are being honored tonight are touching lives every day. And it's our theme this year, Reach, Lift, and Soar. As I look over the room, I see these amazing women, and I mean all of you amazing women. I see you everywhere. You reach out every day to help families, to lift up children, the hearts and mind of women and men everywhere. And you soar to continue to impact lives. And I'm just humbled by that in our community. I honor all of you. But today, and especially today, we are acknowledging a few phenomenal women, our honorees who have been set apart to be recognized. Our award recipients exemplify the essence to reach, to lift, and to soar. I affirm your work and spirit to continue to reach, lift, and soar. You are where you're supposed to be today. You are where you're supposed to be today. And you need to know today we are with you in love and support. Again, I welcome you to our beautiful campus, and I thank you for your attendance today.
Thank you, Dr. Hardy. We truly appreciate your presence here today and your ongoing support of the Women's Center. I'm Gloria Lane, and I'm the director of the Women's Center here at Lakeland, and it is my privilege to be here today with all of you for our 26th Annual Women of Achievement Award. Just a word about our Women's Center here on campus. Our long-term mission is to provide resources, connections, and support for women who want to broaden their lives and make changes, broaden their horizons and make changes in their lives. We have worked towards that mission in many different ways since 1990 when we were founded. Currently, we spend most of our time working with degree-seeking women on campus who want and need extra support to get to graduation. We are open to all women on campus, but we tend to work with non-traditional students, women who are coming here trying to create a better life for themselves while still handling the complexities of the life they are currently living. Often, turning your life around can be a lonely pursuit, so women come to the Women's Center to find that support that will keep them moving ahead toward their dreams. Those of us who have the privilege of calling the Women's Center our workplace love our jobs, and we love the women who inspire us every day as we see them taking strides towards their goals, against odds. What's wonderful is that they make it, sometimes quickly, sometimes a tiny step at a time, but regardless, we are honored to be a part of the process. Before we move into our awards today, I want to thank a number of people that are here today making this program possible. It is always an honor and a privilege to recognize Mary Ring, who is our founder and longtime director. Talk about someone who can reach, lift, and soar. We stand upon her shoulders as we continue her good and important work Mary has been retired for 6.5 years now, but Mary, your legacy lives on, and we appreciate you every day. Please stand and be recognized. I know there are many women in the audience today who have previously received this Woman of Achievement Award. It always makes us feel honored when recipients return and when they nominate other women to receive this award. It tells us that the award is valued. If you are a Woman of Achievement Award recipient from previous years, would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you. I think there's 10 of you in the audience. With today's award, it makes 130 women in our community that have won this award. We also have a very special group of young women in our audience today. They are the Girls of the Round Table. This is an impressive group of girls from Painesville who recently came to visit our campus on International Women's Day. They enjoyed learning about different fields, including health, business, and even welding, which they were surprised to find they actually liked. Since it was International Women's Day, they also learned about education for girls around the globe and how different that looks in different regions of the world. These girls are on their way toward building confidence, creating and achieving educational goals, and living success on their own terms. It is quite likely that our future Women of Achievement Award recipients are among them. They are here today with their leader, Marcita Ferguson, who is modeling our theme, Reach, Lift, and Soar. Reach, Lift, and Soar. Will the girls of the round table please stand and be recognized? And now I would like to thank all the people who have made this program possible today. The staff of the Women's Center. Our newest staff person is Program Assistant Bridget Tovey. Bridget is a 2017 graduate of Ohio University with a degree in psychology and sociology and a certificate in women, gender, and sexuality studies. She has just joined our staff at the end of February, and we are delighted to have her and her fresh new ideas. I would also like to thank Carol Kowalski, who's a graphic design student here at Lakeland and our student employer and our photographer today. Additionally, our thanks goes to Patrick Smitkowski, who is our much appreciated event coordinator, and Phil Boyle and Sam Pastorial, who took on our video project with great enthusiasm. And I'm telling you, to have all three of those individuals here this afternoon to support our program is huge. I would also like to thank Jim Lane, who is our cake delivery man. So will all those individuals who I just mentioned please stand and be recognized? And at this time, it is my great pleasure to introduce my closest colleague in the Women's Center for the last 10 years, Mary Goss-Hill.
Good afternoon and welcome. When thinking of a speaker this year, we wanted to find someone whose work went along with our theme. We were delighted to find that the best person for the job was Danielle Wiggins, the Channel 3 traffic reporter. We received some wonderful recommendations and read about her in Cleveland Magazine, which named her one of the most interesting people in 2017. We realized she has a reach, lift, and soar story, and we knew we wanted to meet her and have her to speak on today. In addition to her work with traffic, she came up with an idea for a new segment called Rising. It tells the stories of individuals who have triumphed over adversity or are helping others to do the same. These are the stories we love at the Women's Center, so we knew we wanted to hear more. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you and have Danielle join us on the stage. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. You all look so amazing, and congratulations to all of the women who are receiving awards today. I'm not going to keep you too long, but believe I have an assignment today, and that assignment, as you can see here, is rising. And the one thing that I want to encourage you guys this afternoon is that I don't know what you'll face when you leave here. I don't know what's going on in your personal lives. I don't know what you're facing tomorrow. But the one thing that I want to encourage you to do is to not let your rising die. Okay? Deal? Don't let your rising die. And let me give you an example of that. She did an amazing job really explaining Rising and what it is, and this was one of the advertisements for it. Rising was a television series and web series that told the stories of people in Northeast Ohio who have overcome obstacles to achieve success, and then they turn around and inspire others to do the same. And when I received this email to come and be the keynote speaker here at this great college, I was really honored, but yet a little tiny bit hurt. Because what many of you may not know is that Rising ended last summer. And I read the wonderful email from Gloria, very professional, and she told me about this event and what you guys do here at the Women's Center and the Reach, Lift, and Soar, how they picked this amazing theme, and they were looking for women who embodied that theme, women who were pillars in their community, women who reached out and mentored others. And I was like, yes, that is what I'm all about. I love it. And then she went on to tell me about how one of my coworkers, former coworkers who is here today, Abby, and she recommended me because Abby knew about the work of Rising. And I said, oh, Rising. And they wanted me to talk about Rising. And like I said, it ended last summer. But it was amazing because receiving that email showed me that yes, Rising as the television show, Rising as the movement ended, but the spirit of Rising still lives on. And when I say the spirit of Rising, what I mean is what we're celebrating today. Reach, lift, and soar. Rising and overcoming any obstacle that you're facing. Reaching out to help. Reaching out for help to get the help that you need so that you can overcome that obstacle, so you can lift, you can achieve the success, lift others up around you, and soar. So, let me tell you a little bit about Rising and what happened with it. Rising was an idea that I pitched to our corporate office. Now, our corporate, we're Channel 3, is owned by a company called Tegna, and they own over 40 stations across the country. And so they were doing research, and a lot of people were saying, we don't like watching the news anymore. How many people still watch the news? Like a point? Oh, yeah! I see you in the back. I see you. Yes. Well, unfortunately, people under a certain age don't watch the news. And then we were hearing that, well, I would watch the news, but you guys are so negative. All you do is report on crime and the bad things that are happening. And then when I watch the news, I get depressed. So I have to turn it off. So they gathered a bunch of us to give ideas of how we can better serve our community, how we can better do journalism that will impact our community and possibly get them to trust us again. And so I'm a woman of faith, and I don't believe that any opportunity that is given me is by chance. So I got my little women friends together and we prayed together, and I said, I want to make sure that I'm being used to be sent to Washington, D.C., to our corporate office. I want to make sure I make the most of this. And in that little hotel room, I did some research and I interviewed people around me. And again, I kept hearing, the news is so negative. Can't you tell positive stories? But we also know that fluff stories, people don't want to watch those either. And then I realized that in the media, typically with the American Idol and all of the instant gratification, what happens is we celebrate people when they're at the top, but we never really tell the stories of what it took to get there. So people are thinking that all I have to do is show up and then success will come. But really, no. There's a lot of things that have to go into being successful, into achieving your goals. And sometimes, well, a lot of times, there are major obstacles that need to be overcome. And so a lot of times when I hear the stories, like the stories of the women that are being honored today, it encourages me to continue to go and to continue to rise and continue to reach, lift, and soar. So that's what I wanted to do. Tell those stories so that when people see it on TV, the one thing that I wanted them to believe is that if that person can do it, so can I. And so the television show went into a pilot. And that picture up here, this one, and this one, is from the pilot episode of Rising. Now, what that story told was a family who believed that they did everything right. That two couple there, the husband and wife, their first kiss was actually on their wedding day. They were standards and pillars in their community, and they thought that they deserved a perfect life. And they had a beautiful daughter. And then they were going to have another baby, and they had another beautiful daughter. So they had two gorgeous little girls. But 6 months in to their second daughter, she was diagnosed with SMA, spinal muscular atrophy, and told that she would not make it past her first birthday. And they were told that it was genetic. So every child that they had a potential to have that disease. And so Morgan, she lived to her second birthday and died shortly after that. And so their story, they talked about how they got through it. And then they talked about how they wanted more children. And they believed that they can have another child. And that, hey, even if they had another child with SMA, they would love that child just as much as they love Morgan. So they took a risk and they had another child. And that child is healthy against all odds. And so what they do now is both of them work with youth and encourage youth and mentor and run mentoring programs. So that was the pilot, and Rising was then birthed into a television show because it did well in our research in August of 2016. And for 6 months, it ran as a weekly pilot. And then, but sometimes in life, you can be doing everything right. You can be checking off your to-do lists, doing all the tasks that you need to get done. But sometimes life has a way of just smacking you down. And I remember the day that I was told that Rising was going to die. Even though it was doing well. As she said, they chose me as 2017 most interesting people in Northeast Ohio. And I'm like, who, me? You sure? You talking about me? But it was because of Rising. It was being shared across, Northeast Ohio. People were asking me to talk about it. And then one day, my managers were telling me that it's doing so well, we're gonna put resources into it. We're gonna take you off of the morning show. And I don't feel like I'm telling any secrets because we did advertise my job back then. We're gonna hire a producer because this is really engaging the community. And then all of a sudden, last February, I was called into the office. We were supposed to be meeting about what else that I would do. And just like in life, how you're thinking you're going down one path, everything is great, it's amazing. And then you get that phone call or you get that news that kind of like, man, that wasn't what I was expecting. And so my manager sits me down and says, it's not your fault, it's nothing you've done, but we've decided to scrap all of those plans. And you need to stay where you're at. And I have to be honest with you. I smiled. I said, okay. Thank you for the opportunity. And I exited the office, and I spent the next month in like a deep depression because I felt like a failure. If it was really successful, if it really was doing what it was supposed to do, then wouldn't it still be going? But they gave me a little, let's say, consolation prize, I would say. They said, you can still do it, but you still got to do your job too. And then 2 months after that happened, Rising was then nominated for 2 Emmy Awards. And I said, oh yeah, here we go. All I have to do is win an Emmy, and then they'll bring Rising back, So as in life, what we do, we kind of we got the idea, and we say, if I just get this, then it will work. So here I am, working my real job, and then trying to do that as well, trying to carry everything on my own. And don't we do that in life? We have this, we're gonna do this, okay, I know this hit me, I know this bill hit me, but if I just work 50,000 jobs, I know I'm tired, I know I'm sick, but I just gotta work 50,000 jobs and do this. And so we put all this stuff on our back and just hoping and believing that it's going to work out. Well, the Emmys came, and I was so excited because, guys, I knew we were gonna at least win one Emmy, right? Okay, that's my option. 2, gonna win 1. So my family came, my husband, my mom, my dad, my brother, his wife. We're all at the table. All the WKYC people are there. And I remember they played the videos and they say, here we are. And it came time to announce the winner, the first one it was nominated for. And everybody just knew they were gonna call Rising. No, Rising lost. And I remember all I heard was, and that was the most embarrassing thing ever. And again, just like in that office, I smiled and I said, well, at least it was nice to be nominated. And then the second one came around, and then we waited, and Rising didn't win again. No awards, no recognition. There I was, that hit, feeling like a failure once more. Dang, we did all of that work, and we got swept. They're really not gonna bring it back now. And in the summer, that was the last Rising that aired. And sometimes We put our identity in what we do instead of who we are. And I love the theme today of reach, lift, and soar. Because there were women that were around me during that time that I had to reach out to lift me out of that depression so that I can once more soar again. And when I was thinking about the theme of soaring, I thought to myself, soaring in this context means reaching out for help when you need it. A lot of times we try to do things on our own, but we're not meant to live life by ourselves. Reach out for help because there are many people, just like the women who are being honored today, who are waiting and willing to help you. So I sat there for those weeks in this little depression, but all I had to do was reach out to the people who would speak life to me again. And I have my little cell phone here because they sent me text messages and I saved them because I would read those text messages to remember that I am more than what I do. I am more than the WKYC traffic reporter. I am more than the woman that co-created Rising. And I remember them saying, Danielle, yes, Rising as a television show, Rising, what was supposed to be of movement is dead. But the spirit of Rising still lives. And it's amazing because I'm thankful to Gloria for asking me because that was confirmation. And my women friends, who are a lot like the women being honored today, when I was down, they came and carried me and said, Danielle, you carry the seed, the spirit of Rising. Make sure you go out. You don't need a television show to encourage people to overcome obstacles. You don't need a website and all of these different things to sit there and be an example and encourage people that they too can overcome whatever obstacles they are facing to achieve the success that they know deep down in their heart that is within them. And you know, I said, you're right. And do you know, after Rising died as a television show, as a movement, it was the first time I received speaking engagement after speaking engagement after speaking engagement after speaking engagement. And guess what the theme of all of the speaking engagements were? Overcoming obstacles to achieve success. And I'm like, wow. So for that summer, I was going to different places, encouraging people, telling them, being open, an open book, and saying, you know, I was depressed. I felt defeated. I felt like a failure. And I used my insecurities and my mistakes to encourage others that you don't have to be perfect, that you're more than what others think that you are, and that you have more to offer. And together, we all soared. Together, we were encouraged. And I'm excited to be here today because that theme of rising, of reaching out, lifting up, and soaring is being honored today through the women like Mary, a caring mom who passionately collects donations for the local food pantry, honoring women like Shannon, a highly educated faith leader who is dedicated to growing the mind, body, and spirit. Honoring Elfie, a woman who has distinguished herself as someone skilled at developing leaders. We're honoring Terry, the open book, who uses her life as an example to help others overcome the obstacles they're facing. We're honoring Nicole, a woman who dared to start a nonprofit because she believed every orphan has a future. We're honoring Marietta, the teacher turned real estate agent who uses her professional skills and compassionate personality to uplift those around her. We're honoring Kathy, the amazing Christian woman who has dedicated her life to helping others overcome addiction. And we're honoring Nancy, the nurse, the mother, the councilwoman, who through her example inspires others to believe that they too can dream big and excel. They're not by themselves. They are special, but so are you. Whatever you're facing, whatever you have to go home to, don't let the rising die in your life. Yeah, things around you may die. Your plans that you had may be no more. But don't let rising die in your life. That spirit of overcoming the obstacles placed in front of you to achieve success. And then when you achieve that success, make sure you turn around and inspire others to do the same. Because that's how we as a community will reach, lift, and soar together. Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle. That was really great. It's time to begin our journey toward the awards. I want to just tell you a little bit about it. The Woman of Achievement Award is a little non-traditional in nature. That means the award doesn't always go to the person with a long list of accomplishments or someone who has done the most or the best. Indeed, some women have big opportunities to live in the public eye, but others live quietly and still make an immeasurable impact. So this award is really about blooming where you're planted. Did you help the people that are around you, and did you impact those that are on your path? Each year we choose a theme, and then we honor women who live their lives in a way that exemplify the theme. Our goal is to show the many different ways that women support our community and make it a better place. By now, you know the theme is Reach, Lift, and Soar. And so also each year, rather than giving a certificate or a plaque, we commission a local female artist to create a unique piece of art that serves as the award and goes along with our theme. So this year we commissioned Laurel Herbold to create a piece of artwork that exemplifies or shows Reach, Lift, and Soar. And Laurel, if you want to come up, and she's going to tell you a little bit about it.
Thank you, Gloria. First, I want to say, Danielle, great speech. I got so into what you were saying, I forgot I had to get up here for a second. Anyway, this has just been an awesome experience so far, getting to know the ladies at the Women's Center here. I can't go another second without saying thank you to Mary Urbis, who I know isn't in here, but she runs the gallery out here at Lakeland. She does an amazing job. She's invited me to be in this show here for the last 4 years, so if you haven't checked it out yet, please be sure to check it out today before you leave. It's awesome. She does an amazing job. Anyway, let's see. I'm going to get lost here. So congratulations to all you ladies. It was so fun creating this award for you. So it features my wee people, which you can see in a bigger scale there on the screen. And these are kind of my little ambassadors of peace. I created them back in college, so they've been with me forever. They help me through all my little tasks like this. So anyway, it seemed to be the perfect image to kind of, I don't know, put into a vision what you women do and what you've done to be here achieving this wonderful award today. So, and as you can, I think, see, it comes to a little rising bird up on the top here that's flown out of the framework. So ladies, be very careful. Being awesome is a fragile task sometimes. But please show everybody, today so they can get a closer look. I think that's all. Thank you and congratulations. And, I have a table of artwork and stuff if anybody cares to find out more about me and what I do. I'm always happy to talk about that, but I won't bore you right now. Thank you. Mary, thank you. You guys are awesome.
So now we've come to the part of the program where we will be presenting the awards. And Mary and I were talking about how we sort of consider this event to be sort of like the Women's Center Academy Awards, and all these women, women winning the Best Actress Award, except then we said, but, nobody's acting. I mean, these are really amazingly authentic women that we're going to be honoring today. So Mary, do you want to join me on the stage? So what we'll be doing is, well, first of all, I want to say that after the award recipients were selected, we had the opportunity to meet each of them, and we interviewed them on camera. So at past award ceremonies, Mary and I actually read from the nomination letters about the various award recipients, but what we decided this year is to give you the opportunity instead to hear from them. So we conducted these interviews and we talked to them about who their mentors were and what their life has been like and how they experienced Reach, Lift, and Soar in their own experience. So that's what we're going to be hearing today, and we think that it'll be a wonderful opportunity to hear directly from the award recipients. So how we're going to do it is we will give a very brief introduction, one by one, of an award recipient. We are starting alphabetically, but we got a little confused on the alphabet, right? So it's not going to be exactly alphabetical order. So listen for your name. It'll be very clear when you're supposed to come up. So we'll give a very brief introduction, and then we'll actually watch the video about the award recipient. And when your video piece is done, that's the time that we'd like you to come to the stage and receive your award. Okay, so we'll start with Mary.
We will begin with Nancy Fellows. Nancy Fellows defines herself as a nurse. She is a true caregiver and a mentor. She has also flown beyond traditional boundaries, becoming a public official. And she holds an appointed position on the Ohio State Board of Nursing. Nancy has reached for her highest potential, lifted other women along the way, and soared to personal and professional achievement. Nancy Fellows.
Hi, I'm Nancy Fellows, and I encourage you to look deep inside to reach, lift, and soar. I'm absolutely humbled. I have had colleagues that have received this award, and I've been so inspired by them, and for me to be nominated to be part of this group is just an amazing opportunity, and I'm just truly grateful for it. Well, I believe I'm a mentor every day, and I don't think you can become a mentor unless you become an expert in something, because once you have the experience and the education and the knowledge, then you can take that information and you could pass it on to someone that is looking to do something similar to you or going down the same path that you're going down. But also that you can just maybe be the person to support whatever endeavor that they're looking to do. Maybe you don't have the knowledge, but you have a passion for what they're doing, and you begin to understand where they want to go, so you can provide love, support, motivation into what they're looking to do. I knew as a young girl I wanted to be a nurse. That's all I ever wanted to be. And I think just being a nurse means that you are nurturing to other individuals. You are there to be helping them, whether it's the patient itself or it's the family members that are around the patient, for whatever the situation will be. And I don't think you can take the nurse out of Nancy. It is who I am. One other place is that I'm an elected official, so I'm a councilwoman for the city of Willoughby Hills. And I think many of the residents supported me in that position early on because I was a nurse. And I think people trust nurses, and nurses bring a lot of credibility and respect. And I believe that that is what helped me become a council member in my city. And then over the years, I gained more knowledge and experience in that position. I just love every day. And I thank God every morning that I'm awake for a new day, and I thank Him at the end of the day for having a good day, whether it was good or bad. I like to be healthy and to continue to do what I do, no matter what role it's in, whether it's a professional role or whether it's in a recreational role. Family means everything. Family is not just, to me, blood relatives. Family are the individuals that surround you on a day-to-day basis. So it's your acquaintances, it's your colleagues, it's your friends, and your immediate blood relatives as well. I think just knowing that you have family there when you need them is the most important thing that you can have.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Next, we have Shannon Staringer. So it's funny, Mary and I both have master's degree, and we don't know how to go in alphabetical order. So. Shannon has been spending her life helping other women reach, lift, and soar. But what's very interesting, and what you're going to hear about, is that Shannon's greatest inspiration is a little-known woman who lived the concept of charism.
My name is Shannon Staringer, and I'm here to inspire you to reach and to lift and to soar. It's a very humbling experience for me to receive an award such as this. The last 20 years of my life have been challenging as I've moved along on my journey, and to receive an award like this is affirming of the work that I've done, but it's also very humbling, and it's certainly an honor to receive it. And it's I hope, an example to other women to continue to reach and lift themselves to the goals that they've set for themselves. The women in my family, my grandmothers, and my mom. My dad died when I was 7, and so my mom raised me and my brother on her own, and so my mom certainly was a strong role model. I have 3 beautiful, intelligent, wonderful daughters, and they're growing into role models as well. But really, one of the most significant historical role models for me has been St. Hildegard of Bingen. St. Hildegard was a 12th century German mystic and a leader. She was also very creative. She was an artist and a musician and a theologian and a preacher. She really found a way to move beyond the cultural and religious obstacles of her day to rise as a leader in a society that didn't always recognize the leadership gifts in women. In 2012, almost 900 years after she lived, Pope Benedict not only declared her a saint, but named her the 4th female doctor of the church, which really gave her an elevated standing in the church to serve as a role model, I think, for women in the church today that are looking for ways to embrace their leadership call. One of the most significant ways that I've found to kind of live out the charism of St. Hildegard is through the work of the Hildegarden. The Hildegarden is a nonprofit organization that I founded as part of my doctoral work in Fairport Harbor, and we really strive there to bring her charism to the wider community. One of the mottos that we live by at the Hildegarden, and it certainly comes out of St. Hildegard's charism, is to follow the living light, or to grow your light. And so what we try to accomplish in the Hildegarden is to offer programs and prayer experiences and different opportunities for people to find their own gifts and talents and to grow their own light, if you will. And what I'd really like to do is continue to find creative ways to make Hildegarden's charism and the work that the Hildegarden does accessible to a larger community. For me, to be a mentor, I think it means to walk with other women who are, especially at those times where what they're reaching for seems impossible, and to assure them that what seems impossible today may very well be their reality tomorrow. And so just to be there to support them and affirm for them that regardless of the obstacles that might come on into their path, that they can achieve what they're reaching for.
Next, we have Mary Velada. Mary Velada is receiving this award today because she represents motherhood. Everyone has a mother, and many women in our audience today are mothers. To be seen as a hero through the eyes of your child is an unparalleled gift. Mary's son, Angelo, says, while no one else see Mary Velada's heroic life, that she lives with love every week, I do. Welcome, Mary.
Hi, my name is Mary Velada, and I'm here to inspire you to reach, lift, and soar. When I found out I was receiving this award, I was very, very surprised and very, very shocked. Because I just think what I do is not a big deal. I mean, there's many, many people that do a lot more than me. I like to help people, and it's not much, you know. I feel good what I do. To me, it's just everyday life. If there's something I can do to reach someone to make their life a little easier, I'm there. Like today, I was at work and some lady needed a certain size box. I was all over the stockroom trying to find her a box. So to me, it doesn't seem like I'm doing anything out of the ordinary, you know, to help someone. I just do it. I mean, I don't know, but she really reflected and said how wonderful it was. But to me, I was just doing my job and really trying to help her. My mom was a very strong person. A lot of times my dad was out of town, and she ran that whole fort. You know, she even ironed pillowcases and stuff, you know. She was a pretty tough cookie. I try to live like my mom did. My mom was at the school all the time, you know, with the carnivals and PTA meetings, and we were part of the school group. We were always at the school, even when it wasn't school time, which was fun. We got to see the things in advance. But so I try to act and be like them because it works. It keeps your family close together, and it's a good feeling. But the main thing is if you treat people like you want to be treated, this would be a better place. This would be a better world. And I think if people lived by that and people showed more respect to each other, that it would be a better place. Even though it's an award, you know, honoring me, which I'm very thankful and grateful, but I do feel that I am the one benefiting from all of this. I feel like I should be thanking the people that let me do this. Besides the family and my husband, like I always wanted to be a school teacher and a nun. And I never went to college or anything, but teaching PSR at St. Gabriel's Church let me be a religious teacher. They actually was one of my goals, to be a teacher, to be with little children. And I should be thanking them people for giving me the opportunity, for trusting me with those children. To me, I should thank those people. You know, it's not about me, it's those people that let me live my dreams, let me reach my goals that they don't even know, but it just happened. It's a beautiful thing.
You're so welcome and deserving.
Thank you so much.
So we're going to take a picture. Thank you.
Next, we have Elfie Roman, who has been at the helm of the Lake County Board of Developmental Disability since January 1, 1998. She was nominated because of her outstanding leadership of this great community resource. However, you will notice that in her interview, she never says I. She talks about we. She takes no individual credit, but seems to consider herself a part of the larger organization working to make change and help others soar.
Hi, my name's Elfie Roman, and I'm here to inspire you all to reach, lift, and soar. I have been so fortunate to have ended up at the Lake County Board of Developmental Disabilities. Every day, I get inspiration from the people that we serve, from my colleagues that I work with, from the volunteers and our board members who give of their time and themselves. And it has just shaped the person that I am and the person that I never in my wildest dreams could have thought I would become. The giving comes back to me. Every day that we are at our jobs, the joy that we get from the people that we serve, the strides that they make and let us share in their lives and in their accomplishments, there's no better reinforcement than that. So that's what makes our job as wonderful as it is. And that's why at the Lake County Board of DD, we have employees who've been there for decades. I started there 39 years ago and walked in the door and I thought, oh boy, I don't know if this is going to be for me, if this is the place I should be. But clearly it is the place I should be. It's been an absolutely incredible opportunity and experience that truly has shaped my life and the person that I've become. I was born in Europe and came to this country when I was about 1.5 years old. And I think back to my mother and grandmothers who came to this country not knowing a word of English, but thinking that this would be a better life for their children. And indeed it was. But they worked hard. They instilled that work ethic, that pride in what you do and what you accomplish, and in giving everything your 150%. So they were certainly my first role models. And then when I came to the Lake County Board of Developmental Disabilities, I met some incredible women, the mothers of some of the individuals with developmental disabilities who have fought their entire life to make sure that their children receive the dignity, the respect, the education, the training, the job opportunities that they deserved. Our work that we do at the Lake County Board of Developmental Disabilities and the people we serve epitomize giving back to the community. We are very fortunate that the community is so giving to us, but the people that we serve love to volunteer in the community, love to give back to the community, and in that way show that they have the skills and abilities to be great citizens of Lake County. And to me, that's just the inspiration I see every day with people who have these challenges that you and I don't have. And every day, the joy they bring, in simply giving back to their coworkers, to the staff around them, to their families, and especially to the community.
Marietta Lips. Marietta Lips is a retired Spanish teacher and a current real estate agent working primarily with the Hispanic community. But she was nominated by her lifelong friend who sees her as one of the most compassionate and selfless women she knows. Marietta has often found herself in the role of caregiver for those with no one else to lift them up. Her actions and her faith have led others to compare her to Mother Teresa, in that she gives and gives without expectation of receiving anything in return.
Hi, I'm Marietta Lips, and I'm here to inspire you to reach, lift, and soar. I think because I really believe that when you do things quietly, God sees you, but when you're awarded or applauded on earth, that's your reward. It's good to have a little of both. We all need an atta girl once in a while, and so it's much appreciated. But I think everybody's filled with goodness, and they all have something that they can share and do. Well, first of all, there was this young lady named Yolanda, who at the age of 21 left Naples, Italy, sailed on a boat across the ocean to come here as a war bride to marry my dad. When I think about that, that she had the courage to do that, and to establish a new life here, to learn the new language. And as a role model, my mother and my grandmother too, the nurturers, the caretakers, the bakers, the feeding everybody. I mean, our motto in our family is food is love. You have to understand that I was fortunate enough to be a post-war baby growing up in the 50s and 60s, when people helped people, neighbors helped neighbors. The recent immigrants came to the aid of the new immigrants. Just a lot of loving and kind people that helped, form me, I think, into the person who I was. My mom, of course, was the role model. Her saying was always, "There are no weak women in this family." So that has always stuck with me, and we've kind of adopted that we have the strength, we have the inward strength to handle whatever life takes us. And it's not smooth sailing, it is a roller coaster, but by the grace of God we get by. Well, the last question I believe that we received there was, what will we say to other women? And I would like to remind them that they were called by name before the world began. They're pretty special if they were thought of, and they were put in this world as a good person, to be good to others, and to never underestimate who they are or their importance or what they can accomplish, what they can do. My parents, 4th grade education, their goal was to see us graduate high school, much less college. And then they would be so proud to see the next generation, their grandchildren, what they were able to do. So there's always something a little bit bigger, a little bit better, a little bit more we can do. live each day, enjoy each day, try to be as joyful as possible, but life is good.
Next, we have Terry Richards. Terry Richards' can-do attitude means she has turned the obstacles she has faced into stories that can help others. As supervisor at Ohio Means Jobs, she motivates clients who have seemingly insurmountable barriers. She pushes others to reach for more, to lift up outside their comfort zone, and enjoy the success as they soar.
Hi, I'm Terry Richards, and I'm here to inspire you to reach, lift, and soar. I work at Ohio Means Jobs, which is located in the Job and Family Services. I think I and the rest of my team always look to help people identify what's holding them back, then eliminate what that may be, and then help them acquire employment and training, and sometimes it's just a matter of helping people sort of redefine what it is that they need to accomplish. Sometimes we may work with women who are re-entering the workforce, all of those things, due to divorce or becoming a widow, and they may not have the same confidence. So it's in part helping them take little steps to see what they can accomplish, and looking back at what they already have accomplished. As I work with people and I help them achieve the tools to soar, it means a great deal to me because it pleases me for them to let me be a part of it. Because you have to develop that rapport for people to be able to trust you enough to let you know what the issues are so that you can help them resolve and eliminate any barriers there may be. Well, sometimes the people that need our help the most aren't the people that want it, or they don't think they want it. They don't know how much they need it. So sometimes it can be challenging, but then those are probably the most rewarding. As simple as it may sound, I kind of believe in the treat everybody the way that you would like to be treated. And really, my mom, I can remember her saying that from a very early age to me, and it served me pretty well, and I thought it helped me, when I thought about it, really helped me learn how to empathize with others, women, men, children. So that's really what I think that motto means to me: treat people how you want to be treated. I just feel like, instead of trying to find a kind person, you ought to be the kind person and do the right thing for somebody as they come through. And don't be afraid to worry if you're going to offend them, because I think that truly, if you mean it in kindness, people will take it just that way. That we need to be more kind to each other. We need to really be there for each other. And I think I've learned to do that as time has gone on, where, years have passed and I'm not as interested in, seeing how I measure up to people. I'm just comfortable with who I am. And I would encourage them to strive to achieve that because it feels really good.
Nicole Parker. Nicole Parker has recently reached across the globe to start a nonprofit called Dare to Care in Cameroon, West Africa, lifting up orphans and at-risk children. but she has also helped youth, women, and many others learn to soar right here at home with her joy and enthusiasm.
My name is Nicole Parker, and I'm here to inspire you to reach, lift, and soar. I bought into that idea of being successful, you needed X, Y, and Z. And I remember I was working at a place in corporate America, and it was not fulfilled at all. And I just remember going to the ladies' room and crouching out against the wall and sitting down on my heels and saying, there's got to be more for me than this. There's more for me than this. I knew that. And a couple months later, I ended up assisting in an international adoption in Kenya, Africa, and that trip really opened up my eyes to the world. My husband and I started an organization called Dare to Care International, and it serves orphans in Cameroon, Africa. And I've known since I was a little girl that I wanted to make a difference in the world. Coming from a 5-year-old mindset and perspective, I would see commercials on the TV about African children who just looked sad and they needed help, and I had a real hard time with that. And what we are currently doing is partnering with an orphanage there that is granting education empowerment grants to orphans. We are raising money to send the kids to school, because what's happening is there is some turmoil right now with the government, and they're closing down the English-speaking schools. So the children, the orphans and all the children need to go to private schools, because the public schools are closing, so they can have a potential future, so they can reach their goals, and they can just find what their interests are, and they have a better chance of being successful and getting out of poverty through education. So I have this bracelet that I wear. I try to remember to wear it every day, but it's actually made out of mud from a women's village in Kenya, Africa, and it says inspire. And so I wear it outwards, so not to remind me to try to inspire others, but to remind others also to inspire other people. And I just think that everybody goes through some things, and some people get stuck in the valley of life sometimes, and I think it's our responsibility really to reach out to them and get them out of the valley, right? And just to encourage them and inspire them, and to let them know that you are better than where you are right now. If I often tell, I mentored two different girls, and I always try to just let them know that you're in this spot right now, but if you could see yourself through my eyes, you would just love yourself, and you would think that you're so amazing, and that's okay to think that, because you are. So I think just really encouraging them, but in a very genuine way, and just reaching out to their strengths from a strengths-based perspective, and encouraging them to do that they can do whatever they want to do. Be daring and get out there and do whatever you want to do, whatever it is, whatever you feel deep down inside, whatever passion it is that you feel inside you. And I say, take a risk and go for it.
And our final recipient today is Kathy Leisure. And Kathy Leisure is a living example. Through her deep faith and numerous supports, Kathy turned her life around and has dedicated herself to helping women rise above difficulties and live sober, productive lives so that they can be an example to others, keeping the recovery chain going.
Hi, I'm Kathy Leisure, and I'm here to inspire you to reach, lift, and to soar. When I think of reach, I think most people first thought is reach up. I think, or reach out, but I think of reaching down to someone else who's reaching up. So if they're reaching up for help and I reach down, I was once the one who was reaching up, and someone reached down to help me, and to me it's just reaching down to help someone else that's reaching up. And lifting them out of wherever they're trying to escape from. And then soaring, my first thought is always an eagle, because I love to watch the eagle soar. And I think of an eagle that possibly would have a broken wing and can't quite soar. And when you reach down and you lift some lady up who needs help, you're helping them get out of that brokenness. And when they get out of that and they get repaired and they're well and their wings are repaired, you can soar with them until they can soar on their own. Currently, I'm working with women who suffer from addiction, and that is the bottom. That is the bottom. That's the darkest cave that anyone could be in. So what I try to do is, absolutely, they're not bad people. They're sick, and I try to let them know that first, because they just feel so awful for what they've gone through and what they're currently doing. And when they want help, when they're willing to reach up, and if I can be willing to reach down and lift them up just a little bit at a time, then really it's helping me, because I can't even explain the joy I get when you see a mother getting back with her children, or a mom and dad getting back together and making that traditional family. It doesn't always work that way, but even to just see them go on with their lives and become other people that are ready to reach back down. I tell them from the beginning, when I get you out of here, with the grace of God, we get you out of here, I'm only preparing you to go back down there to get somebody else out. I don't ever question the whys now. When I look now, I know why, because I needed to go through those things. And I think God was just preparing me for his greatest assignment, which has been not only to work with addicts, but to also, I have turned my father's house into, rather than the house of horrors that it was for my brother and I, but turned it into a recovery house. So I think that if I just sit back and I look at God's assignments, I know that there was somewhere along the line he was birthing me to do it and giving me that help. You know what, I really just want women to know that it doesn't matter, that not to think that they're not good enough or not smart enough or not capable enough to be able to lift, to reach and to soar, to lift down and help someone else, to get out of where they're at and to soar higher than they ever really dreamed possible. Whatever their wildest imagination is, they can go there and then some.
At this time, we would like all the recipients to come back to the stage so that we can have you all here at once.
Hi, congratulations. Thank you.
Here, you can go into the middle so everyone can see.
Be careful. Be
Yeah.
careful.
So you ladies are lucky because in previous years, we made the recipients sit on the stage for the whole presentation. So yeah, if you want to just move down just a little bit, because I know everybody in the audience wants to take a picture of all of you lovely ladies. Yeah. There we go. Okay, see all the cameras are coming out. And how about one final round of applause?